Okay, I'm gonna also turn on the chat box just in case participants prefer to chat rather than to speak on the microphone. Okay, thank you, Dr. Jaria. Okay, Assalamualaikum, good morning. All the wonderful people here. Thank you very much for joining me in this session. This is item development for unsupervised testing. Okay, my name is Nurliyana Bukhari. I'm from School of Education and Modern Languages, SEML. Thank you, Mustafa Ali. Okay. Oh, before that, on my screen here, actually, who do you think these are? I mean, how should I put this? Okay, I'm just gonna tell you because they're down there. You can see this is like these two are actually avatar. Avatar, you know, like Sophia, the robot, but it's from it's not, we cannot touch it. Right? It's on the computer, like Android. Yeah. Okay, our smartphone, Siri and stuff, but it's they put a picture. I mean, they humanize it in a way. Okay, so this is an example of math classroom activity, and this is actually a conversation-based testing. Okay, one of the item format that that is available. Okay, this is just a sharing to open. Okay, but we're gonna talk more about different item formats. But I think this is just one cool example, and they are actually communicating with real people. So basically, it is unsupervised, but it's kind of you know, smart assessment now with Avatar. Okay, I always share my background a little bit to, you know, to give some context. Okay, so yeah, I did my bachelor degree at UUM, the same school, SEML, and then later I pursued my master's in educational research, measurement and evaluation, basically majoring in measurement and assessment. Okay, and I did also program evaluation for my master, and for my PhD, I continue in the same field in the States. So later, I think during the in 2015, I think I was required as a PhD student to do an internship at the testing company at the States. And testing in the States is like an industry, you know, because it's more like factories or companies, you know, competing to provide better services, you know, and so yeah, well, when competition is there, you know, technology is also, you know, involved, so things develop quite fast. And what we've looked is a lot of variations in item in testing, especially in the States. Okay, so to bring that kind of experience back to Malaysia, I think that's that's a that's a that's quite weird for me because, you know, I did a lot with testing, you know, testing with computers. Okay, and then coming back, it's more like applied, like in paper based, and we have to print and everything. So when, you know, with internet, of course, in the US we have a lot of internet problems, but here I think it's more, especially when I teach my students, you know, even a simple web access is kind of difficult. I tried one time online platform testing. It's hard for some of them. It's hard for some of them to, you know, to get involved. Okay, so yeah, but nevertheless, I think you know, we will be there. You know, we already here, you know, with the technology stuff. So, but things can be done without technology, you know, equally better, equally good. So, but sometimes better. So yeah, that's some kind of background that I would like to share. And some of the things that I have here is actually I try to blend in both experiences from the States and come back to Malaysia with the policy, with the current practices, okay, and what are the issues that we are facing. Okay, so the plans for today. I don't know, I have a lot of slides, because to be honest, it's kind of uncertain what to prepare, what to give. So I think I'm sharing everything that I think are important. And for me, when I said it's important, everything is important because I'm compulsive. Okay, so but I think these are the plans that I prepare, and later, inshallah, I'm going to share the slides with UTLC, and UTLC will put on the UTLC help desk. Okay, so first, we have to ask the most important question when we want to develop item task. Later we will see, the different questions, item, they're the same thing. Okay, and the bigger picture means what are the steps? Even though, things change, but test development process or steps or frameworks, they're still basically the same if we follow the right ones. Okay, so we will touch into that a little bit. Okay, and then given the recent the guideline, because just we call it publish a guideline through AEDU. AEDU is academic excellence development unit. Okay, and I was given a chance to be part of that piece of guideline. Okay, and we provided, I think, 5 options. Okay, 5 testing options that to replace the real final exams. Okay, so it's called final take home or online assessment. Okay, so that's why I call this session as unsupervised testing. Try to blend it with what UUM has and what Malaysia is doing. Okay, so that's the term unsupervised testing that I come up with. So which one to use? But before we decide on that, these two sub point under that point is actually I think the most important to be asked, to be answered. First, we have to define the content domain, and then we have to choose which format that we want to. When we say format, it's equivalent to type. Okay, so the basic one, MCQ, multiple choice, fill in the blanks, true, false, okay, and some other stuff that we will see soon. Okay, and then next we'll move to some this part. The 4th bullet point is going to be lengthy. Actually, a lot of examples that I share, based on what I found from certification licensure test, different our course test, and what's available in the literature. Okay, item writing strategies to facilitate test security. Okay, this is test security is very, very no matter what you do, you cannot be fully sure. We cannot say that our test is secure. So, but we take precautions. Okay, but some of the strategies are pretty basic, but very important to follow. Okay, and then number 5, checklist. Okay, this one is back to the AEDU thing. It's 4th July. It's a typo there. 4th jolt. Okay, I should just be very call it careful about that. Rushing, I guess. Checklist for designing a coursework to replace the final exam. We found some checklists. I think that's kind of may be useful, to some, to decide their the assessment, to decide whether they are doing the right thing with the assessment practice. Okay, and then I'll share some established international testing standards and guidelines. We have local guidelines. We have a lot of universities now. A lot of people are doing guidelines. UMR have guidelines. UTM, UTHM, UNIMAS, everybody has guidelines. Okay, and now we have also international testing standards and guidelines, the one that established for so many years. Okay, and I have also some suggested books for testing aficionados, for those who really want to dig deeper. And good news is I found the first edition. I'm sharing 2 handbook of testing practices, and the first edition is available free, and I bought it for $100, and now I'm gonna give you the link to the full version for free. Okay, and yeah, so just stay tuned. Okay, if you can until the end. I really have to take this call just a second. It's kind of a jam. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick. Okay, just okay. I'm back. Okay, last one I prepare, like, because I I'm sure we are doing unsupervised, but sooner or later, proctoring system, test proctoring, we call it web-based item banking tools, are basically online testing platforms, or they call it test proctoring. Okay, so I found some, like, there are free versions. Last time I did with UTLC Class Marker, that's one of the what do you call it, online testing platform too. I'm sharing the links, so that you can just maybe, some are free, some are free with, with limited version, but limited what you call features, but you know it's better than nothing. So yes, I'm sharing with that just for you too. You're welcome, Nur. Oh, okay, yeah. The one in the orange one, that's actually the one that I said it's going to be lengthy. Okay, a little bit housekeeping. Okay, in these slides, I put a lot of hyperlinks on the slides rather than, paste it on the. Sometimes I just have to paste because it's just not what do you call it. It doesn't make sense to put hyperlink on certain box or something. So most of the time, images have hyperlinks for, especially books. It could be full sources, or it could be like just you abstract for you to read. And yeah, check the images, when you roll over the mouse. I think when you get PDF also, you can even click on that. I'm going to try before I convert everything on PDF and check the hyperlinks. Okay, disclaimer. Okay, this is a sharing session. Okay, sometimes people say that, okay, this is right and this is wrong, you are right and testing is like this and testing is like that. There are a lot of labels, a lot of names, a lot of conventions. So I am not attempted to be thank you, Madam Fadila. Yeah, that's the link. Make sure you keep it. A lot of good resources there. Okay, UTLC help desk on the chat box. Okay, so yeah, back to disclaimer. I'm not attempt to be dogmatic about my belief or my understanding on testing and measurement, in terms of terms or categorizations or labels and stuff. Okay, but there are some contentious issues, and I'm more than happy to answer questions or to discuss, what do you call it, contradicting uh, perspectives, or if this discrepancies in our understandings. Okay, here when I say learners, I mean students or test takers. Okay, so I think so far that's it. Yeah, and less emphasis on the hands-on part. Maybe sometimes we'll talk, or you communicate through chat and stuff. Okay, because it's hard to do online for the hands-on part for the item development, unless you are actually, you are willing, you are willing to share. Why not? Okay, so we'll see when, if given the time and given what do you call it, the if you are willing to share. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay. Huh. I don't know whether this is blessing in disguise or really a curse, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Coronavirus is bad, but because of that, we are pushing towards where we are heading. Okay, so You tell me, you know. So previously, okay, who preferred the previous one? Maybe I don't know, just unmute your mic, say yes, or you know, on the chat box. I don't know. How many of you still prefer the previous thing? Yeah, okay. No, Razwani Zakaria. You prefer the previous, yeah, yeah. Still, you know, better socialization, less headache, no no need to worry about devices, about specs, about internet, bandwidth, low bandwidth, and whatnot. Okay. Um, but then what do you think about, you know, the new norm? I'm asking Norazwani again if she, you know, if she can, she's willing to answer. Okay. I know some people reserve oh yeah, okay. Involved with a lot of calculation. Oh, Dr. Nur Akmal. Okay, I think okay, I got it. Okay, I understand. Statistics, mathematics. So you think it's better to let them do calculation manually and stuff. That's okay. No judgment. This is your preference. It's quite challenging. Okay. Yeah. I sometimes I have that problem. So sometimes I have to do WhatsApp. It's really, really tiring. And sometimes I don't know whether they are there, you know. And sometimes I just have to give some financial reward and so that so that they can get engaged, you know. But disclaimer, only at the end of the month I can do that. Yeah, it's really quite challenging. But yeah, it's the solution for it. And hopefully we you know we'll see whether I can at least suggest some ideas for you, you know, to help with that challenges that you're facing. Hopefully, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much. I know you write Norazwani, so I just go with your first name. Okay, okay. Please let me know if I should address your title. Okay. So, okay, this is warming up. If you want to answer, you can answer, but at least answer inside you know, just dalam hati, you know. What are the things that you consider before designing an assessment for your students? Thank you. And you can call me Liana, okay? Class ability. Oh, thank you. Yes, Dr. Amrita Kaur. Yes, class ability level, because you know we are so-called normal. Normal basically in our class we have low low ability, normal or moderate, medium, and then we have high ability. It's yeah, that's what one thing. So basically you need to understand who your students are or who are your test takers. Anything else? Anybody wants to add? I was planning to do this on Mentimeter, but then I don't have no time, so I'm just gonna, you know, just brainstorm here real quick. Yeah, student level, of course. Student level again, as like similar to Dr. Amrita. Now individual level. So you have to consider each of them, each one of them most of the time, especially if you have small class. If you have big class, maybe you can find the average. Okay. Okay. No, Azwani. Internet connection. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Designing assessment, online assessment, or remote assessment. Dr. Naria, whether students can easily Google the answer. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Cheating, huh? It's prevalent right now. It's easy. It's like all at your fingertips, unless you have bad internet connection. Mm. Which some people, if they want to cheat, they'll do anything. Have you seen Bad Genius? The tiger? That's really mind blowing, but it's based on real stories. Yeah. Okay, but if okay, if in general, when you want to do the test, what comes to your mind first? I mean, okay, students, definitely. Who are your test takers? And then the infrastructure. Somebody's trying to talk on the mic, I believe, or did somebody just leave? Okay, so okay, but okay, I'm gonna rephrase. I'm trying to find one more answer that I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to, to hear actually, because the most important thing when you want to test, what is the most important thing that you ask as a test developer, because you are a teacher and I assume you are developing your own test. This is the basic general, not even online assessment, paper-based test. Rubric, okay, rubric, because yeah, close now. Rubric is the criteria of assessment. CLO, who said that? I wish I can give you 50 ringgit like my student every time, but not 50 ringgit, definitely not students.
I'll DM you later.
Say that again?
DM you later.
Okay. Maybe we go catch up somewhere. Okay. And manager's coffee. But yeah, that's I'm looking for CLO or just a second. But the rest are important, equally important, but the content that matters. And we always talk at UUM, CLO, refer back to your CLO. And especially those who just completed some OBEs. Okay. The mapping, CLO. Okay. So, or in other words, what is the purpose? Always, no matter what, small, big assessment, large scale, small scale, classrooms, standardized, alternative assessment, objective test. Always, what is the purpose? Okay, so what is the intended use of the test? How are we gonna use the test? We're gonna, diagnose students. We're going to let them go to, give them certification or licensure, especially those accountants or lawyers, even teachers. Okay, we have a METC test for licensure. And are we going to, what do you call it, check whether they have mastered certain skills or proficiencies? Okay, and okay, what about the score? How will it be used? Like pangkat, you're gonna go for a, admission. That's going to a university or a program or placement. Yeah. So how do you use? But of course, at our course, of course, to measure our course learning outcomes. Okay, and based on the course learning outcome, we make inference about our learners. And this is, I think, this is what UTLC has in their, website. And we've been doing this a lot for, especially again for those who are involved in OBE, outcome-based education system. So we start with the program educational objectives, bring down to program learning outcomes. And then remember, now we have the MQF 2.0. We have that LOC. LOC basically learning outcome clusters. We have basically 5 major clusters, and we have sub clusters under there. And then we have to map those, basically those clusters are soft skills. Okay, that's what I understand. And that's what I think it makes sense to me based on my successfully approved OBE. And then, what are the CLOs? And then when we talk about CLOs, we talk about learning domains. Okay, what are the cognitive level? If we have final exam, the C's, no P's, no A's. Okay, I'm making assumptions that C, A, and P most are okay with that. If you are having problem, we're gonna look at briefly what are C, A, and P. C is cognitive learning domains. That's from Bloom taxonomy, and now we have a revised version. And then we have affective, caters to emotions. Okay, cognitive, like what's in there most of the time in your mind, basically your academic, and then affective, and then I think that's based on Anderson, Krathwohl, and Masia. And then we have Simpson, the one that we're using. Okay, we have many types of what do you call it, taxonomy. okay? But the one that we use at UUM and I think in the higher education is the CAP, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive from Bloom, psychomotor from Simpson, and the affective from Masia, Anderson, Ital. Okay, so content. This is the most important thing, the purpose, the content, the CLO. Okay, whatever it is, first thing first, your content, and then your test takers. Because when we measure, there's an interaction between the item, which is considered the content. Now I'm trying to look at the computer. It's like I'm explaining to a real person, like I'm talking to the avatar, and then we have what do you call it, human. So measurement is two-way. You have the interaction between human and the item. The item basically the content, and then the quality of your item, and it should relate to the CLOs whatsoever. And then the human is actually what they have, their ability, their levels, like Dr. Amrita and Dr. Hamid just said just now. Okay. Okay. So when you have the content, you have to have rubric. Okay, and that's where Dr. Jauria is going on with that. And of course, during the process, cheating, infrastructure, those really come into play. Okay, come on. So a test has to be useful, and when I type useful, this army knife pops up, and I think it's really useful, really handy, depending on what is it's intending to do, the intended use of it. So it has to be useful. The most important thing to test takers. Who matters? Our students. Okay, and nobody else. And next, maybe the test users. In our case, stakeholders. Our schools. SEML. How are they? Failures or tidak hadir or something. And the university, higher ed, that industries, whether they can go for an internship or for a job. Are they ready for the job? And of course, regulatory professional bodies, if they are going for like licensing and are going to, what do you call it, attached to these professional bodies. Okay, so it has to be useful. Okay, like I said earlier, even though things change, now we can see most things change now. So, but just a second, I am having problem with the WebEx. It's not going up to its place. Okay, now it's moving. Okay, so these are the steps that we are now is giving the takeaway thing. Okay, never mind. So 12 steps. This is just okay, this is the handbook that I said I have the link, and if you click on the link, you get the full PDF. I think 400 600 pages. I couldn't recall, but yeah, it's really thick. Yeah, and now you get it for free. So here Downing, they call Downing is the one who write this chapter, and then but this handbook overall is edited by Downing and Haladina. So these two, they are the gurus or the sifus of test development. So in the measurement or testing world, they are well respected. And yeah, this is what they have so far. Basically, if I can break it, I mean, simplify it more. Okay, by the way, this is what these steps are not alien to what we've been practicing at university too. We have to prepare the ISO docs, the QP004, right? We have to prepare the table of specification, exam announcement letter. Sometimes we have, sometimes we don't. And then final exam question. I think we have. I'm sorry. This is really dangerous to say. We have. I don't. Sometimes I'm being lackadaisical, but yeah, my QP, my ISO file is good. Okay, final exam question booklet, answer scheme, rubric, Dr. Joria, and yeah, the copy of exam results. So it fits somehow at each of the steps, somewhere, in the 12 steps. Okay. So the overall plan is, if we can, group them together. These are the design part when we decide the content, okay? And then we do the table specification, especially for the exams, okay? Then when the test specification, we have to decide what are the content or what the domain specification. And then we talk about format specifications. Yeah, we have to consider, but it just in our if for the final exam table specification, we most of the time we just ignore the format specs because most of us are doing subjective item, right? The structured item, not objective or MCQs. Okay, but those with the I don't the big groups, they have to do multiple choice. Yeah, okay. They might have different formats, you know, because object they can do multiple choice, they can do true false, they can do fill in the blanks, which is objective actually, you know, where only one answer is in the world, but you know, without the answers given. Okay, so that's the test specs. And don't get me wrong, sometimes even though we are not doing final exam, if we are doing coursework, we some kind of plan our lesson based on actually the specifications. We have still to consider our content. We have to still to consider what format, item format that we want to use. Okay, and then the item development is the operational part. Okay, test design and assembly. This is where we'll gather everything and we what do you call it what try to what do you call how to put them together and how to actually we make a lot of items and we really choose how many will be in the final version. And test production in IUM is printing. We send to our graduate school to so that they can print. And test administration, most of the time it's standalone because test administration also there's a whole by itself have a lot of issues before test administration, during, after. You know, we have to have SOPs for that, and each EA always have those steps, right? And then the last part, I just lump sum them together. It's about scoring. After we finish administering, we score, we analyze, and we report. And then sometimes we provide guidelines. And this one actually is basically for high stakes or large scale exam. When what's going on and what are the right things to do, what happened during the thing. So these guidelines are actually based on the whole process. Okay, so this is the basic step given by Downey. And then so now when we talk about those development steps, then we can relate to what Bennett also one of the respected guys, and he did a lot on assessment. He write a lot of different item formats and stuff. So he make it in a rubric, the game that so-called the nerd plays or the math genius play, the colorful rubrics. Rubik, actually we call it Rubik, right? Rubik cubes. So he made it into a multifaceted scheme. He organized it properly, and he said that we have domain here when he said math, reading, writing, science, because he's mostly referring to the high schools, stuff, but it's always transferable to higher ed. So they have learning domains or content domain. Sorry, not learning domain. Learning domain, like I said, we are doing the CAP, right? The cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Here, more like subject domain. Okay, and then it also, when you decide domain, you have to decide the item formats. Okay, multiple choice all the way to presentation. Right? Actually, here, everything here, this is from objective test, basically from the one that we really don't have to write anything, just select our response or until we construct our response. Construction, completion when starts doing the task, and the presentation also construct response through verbally. Okay, did anybody say something on chat? Because I've just forgot it. Okay, nobody. Okay. Okay, now validity facet. Those are the foundation. Kalau kita buat rumah, if we have a house, that's our foundation validity, and that's a whole new level. But we are doing tests to make sure we have validity evidence so that it can support the use of the test. Okay, that's why we have the QP004 documents. Those are actually to support the validity facet. Okay, social consequences, I think is that personal loss, somebody did not get the job, or somebody failed, so, or somebody did not get promoted, or somebody did not get a place admitted, at the university. So, and then the utility of the score. Okay, and constructability, if we are teaching math, we are testing math, are we really testing math, or maybe it's more like reading. Okay, or now maybe people say it's more integrated now. You have to have math, you have to have reading, you have to be able to read also in order to solve problems for the higher order thinking. Okay, so, and I'm trying to map here to put in the context of higher ed, try to change the domain. Okay, maybe the domain here may be course, we call it courses, right? I'm teaching assessment in education this semester, 2 UG groups, 2 undergraduate groups. And then I know, okay, law, I'm just putting law, but I have examples for law, but I couldn't think of the right course. I don't know, do we have civil law? Anybody from School of Law here? I was thinking of Dr. Ani Munira when I did this, actually. I don't know whether she's here. Okay, strategic communication. Okay, this is more from SMMPC. Okay, AutoCAD, this is architecture. I don't know, I don't think UM has that course. We don't offer architecture, but yeah, AutoCAD course, learning to do the software. So these are the domains, and in order to test them, we can use all these kind of formats, and we have to make sure that all the validity facets are met. Okay. So this is the one that I said about the guidelines. The guideline that we from AEDU HEA prepared. This is the most recent one, the 4th of July, being uploaded on the HEA website. If you click on the guidelines, it'll bring you there. Okay, when you get these slides, inshallah. Okay, so we prepared these five potential assessment options. The guideline is called Guidelines for Online and Take-Home Assessments. Okay, so basically we are saying that yes, these are the guidelines for unsupervised tests, and these are the potential assessment options that you can choose. Okay, so you can stick to the final exam. It's still online, but it's closed book. Okay, some people have the course consists of 60% final exam. Some people has 40. Mine has 40, 60 coursework. Okay, closed book. This one is like when you are doing take home. This one is like similar to what do you call it? Or maybe you use online testing platform. I've heard that some lecturers are using WebEx, especially postgraduate students, to really monitor this. So that's no longer unsupervised, but of course you don't really truly supervise. So yeah, they do their tests, open their webcam and everything, just like the proctoring and everything. So yeah, seems like internet is not a problem. And then open book, closed book, this one you can bring it home, but you cannot refer to books. Open book, and it will state. And open book, closed book, final project, this is more like really, really big project that they have decided, maybe, I don't know whether last time we had this COVID-19, maybe final project is going to be heavy, but some people really need to do it because they are actually, the course are very high stakes when it involves the certification bodies and stuff. And yeah, the 100% coursework, those who really transform all the 40 or 60% final exam into coursework now. Okay, so these are the options that we have. And yeah, if you can use your QR code, this one also, so that I don't forget to mention that, the QR code will bring you to the same guidelines. Okay, only this guideline has QR code, the rest don't have QR code. Okay, come on. Okay, so we have the potential assessment. Now, based on this, it's oversensitive now. Just a second. Okay, we have these assessment options, and now based on, okay, each of these have assessment features. Okay, either you can use closed book online, you can use the technology enhanced items, or even the closed book take home, you can use technology enhanced item, or the one that I mentioned earlier, online testing platforms, web-based item banking tools, Okay, or you can just choose everything performance or task-based assessments. Okay, some people call it computerized or paper-based even, and upload on UUM online learning. Okay, that's that's uh that's allowed. That's allowed too. Okay, so these are the features that you can use. You can mix between the two. I mix because I have one 10% quiz, so I use the online platform Classmarker. Like I said, I did that training on 20th of May this year, okay, during MCO. And yeah, and I put also a lot of performance or task-based assessments. Okay, some people call it alternative, and then most of the time it's subsumed under performance or task-based. Okay, here, this is actually an intermediate. This is very neat. I like this. What do you call it? The categorization that these two researchers are doing. That basically they are actually they organize all types of items. There are a lot of items, from multiple choice all the way to essays, all the way to portfolios, all the way to the big stuff like the one that they said like measuring hearts and stuff. So they try to put them in a organize these item formats. We have a lot of item formats, by the degree of constraint or complexity. Okay, here on the horizontal line, it's like from 1 to 7. So here 1 to 7, 1 is most constrained, means students just have to select. They cannot do anything. They select and then that's it. They cannot construct. Okay, but then as they go along the continuum, the horizontal continuum, they can fully construct their response. Okay, so here you can see from multiple choice, and then they can select or they can identify, they can reorder, rearrange. Okay, and so most of the basic one is matching. Okay, and we have down there assembling proof. So all the way to fully constructed presentation portfolio is fully constructed. You remember Bennett's rubric, the cubic, the cube, right? So yeah, basically it says like, okay, from multiple choice to constructed, to construct the part. But students have to construct rather than select. Okay, and then down there on the vertical continuum, it start from, means the top one is the constraint, and then it starts to go to 1A. It's fully selected but less complex, but as they go down to D, it's fully selected and more complex. Okay, they don't say most complex because there are more complex stuff, that maybe later in the future researchers gonna discover or gonna figure out. Okay, but this is the categorization. And if you go to 7C, okay, 7C discussion interview, and yeah, Bennett basically put them in as an e-learning assessment. Okay, now that's why the conversation based test, the one that you showed, I showed earlier, avatar, yeah, that's where discussion interview lies. Okay, and at the end, diagnosis teaching, this is also Bennett. That's why I say he's really contributing a lot. Okay, I'm not biased, but he's kind of cool. Okay, so, and this is when you click on this, you get, I think, the journal, and you can see examples. I also like snipped some of the examples in these journals to discuss in relation to this intermediate constraint. Okay, by scalars and different. Yeah, big names too, in test development, especially item formats, technology enhanced item, we call it. Okay? And they use, it seems matching, easy, categorizing, ranking, sequencing. Okay, but when you involve technology, it's a whole new game. This is another in Scalars 2009. She tried to make them, at that time it was Flash. Now when I click, the link is no longer play. Earlier we can play, we can try, but now I think Flash is too obsolete. They are trying to do more, with the more better illustration, but still this is similar. Earlier it's just who figured what, or who contributed to what with I think exhaustive what you call comprehensive literature here, and then here It's just in a form of illustrations. Okay, and the same thing. It's just the same thing. Okay, but this one's earlier scale is in Flash, but now I was playing with them, but now no longer. Every time I clicked on, it was 404 error. Okay, so okay, earlier was the Downing and Halladina, and now this is another framework. Okay, this is Downing and Halladina basically give general test development. It could be multiple choice. It could be, yeah, they are the CFUs of multiple choice, by the way, and they call it multiple choice select response. Okay, because the opposite is constructed response. Okay, select response, constructed response, objective, subjective. What do you call it? What else? Close-ended, open-ended. So this is the continuum. If you I know it makes sense to you now. Okay, so but these two CFUs, they are more on language testing in language testing field. Okay, these two CFU. They're from, I think, California, Berkeley, or UCLA. I couldn't recall, but yes, both of them are universities in California, and they worked a lot on language testing. And if you recall my research interest, one of them is language testing, because I took, I think, 1 year language testing and advanced language testing. And then I learned a lot about Bachman and Palmer, and they come up with this nice framework of basically it is assessment development, but it's more like task-based assessment, or in this contact language. They cover a lot on language, but we can always extend it to different domains. Okay, but it's tasked. Okay, means performance. Whatever in the scale is one, the scale is picture now. Everything maybe starting from construction to presentation now is considered task-based, or performance, or now people call alternative assessment. In Malaysia, people love to call it alternative assessment, because it's just and it's underneath performance. Some people are looking at it as a continuum. There's more, like after performance assessment, there's problem-based learning. So yeah, you can but the categorization is clear cut. Basically, performance-based, objective test. Basically, the one that they really have to just select without doing any task. Okay, so here it's really comprehensive, because they consider a lot. See, they consider the design. Okay, and then they consider the first one, purpose. Like I said, that's the most important question. What is your purpose? Purpose. Not even, okay, oh, this item is cool, you should do this. It's alternative assessment, but does it really need alternative assessment for that kind of purpose, or we need something else? Okay, if we don't need that, choose another format. Okay, because the purpose what drives everything. Okay, description. Okay, this one, basically description of the task, characteristics of test takers. Just now again, to bring the point of Dr. Amrita Kaur and Dr. Abdul Hamid, both of them are my colleagues at CSEML. And yeah, it goes to the blueprint, the test structure. Okay, this is when the nitty gritty there, the operationalization, when you start writing your item. Okay, you have to listen. Okay, how many tasks per part? Okay, so Bachman really went detailed. And then administration, he stopped there, because he combined everything yang kita kata, we said we have until reporting guidelines, whatever Downing said. He just combine them together as at the end is, these are administration. Once you analyze, you archive in your question bank. Okay, and then you get feedback, whether useful or not. Go back, consideration. If it's just like flowchart in a way here. If it's okay, go back. If it's not okay, by the way, I'm sorry, this is not a flowchart. It's more like consideration of qualities of usefulness. But it's this one is more like a two-way. Okay, and this one, but not this consideration. But these are the things that you have to consider in order to have a useful test. We want a useful test. Okay, that is based on the intended purpose. Okay, so these two frameworks only about the test development that I'm interested to highlight here. And here, task-based assessment characteristics, and some people call it elements of task-based. And if you this one if you look at other slides or from other scholars, they might say that this is elements of alternative assessments. Okay, but scholars, combination of them are saying that okay, task-based is okay. Okay, and the characteristics basically, of course, overlaps or similar to alternative assessment. It has to be authentic. It has some authenticity at some point. Okay, contextualization, you have to put things in context. Where is it, at the living room, or is it at the academic lecture, or is it at the CMART? Okay, it has to be learner-centered, to be task-based because they are doing the thing, the task. Okay, so they should be engaged, and it should have high fidelity. It means basically the assessment really, should mirror whatever they have to do in the in the context of the test purpose. Okay, it's similar to close to authenticity, the fidelity. Oops. Okay, now there you go. Different types of tasks. She's flipping roti canai. She's doing a task. Not everybody can flip roti canai. Okay. And yeah, writing a resume is a task. Managing air traffic control. Being an air traffic control, managing, airplanes, takeoff and landing. That's a task. Okay. All these are tasks. It seems very, what do you call it? Could be, petty or like meh to someone, but yeah, these are the tasks, and you are actually asking your students doing that. See, the doctors are doing are discussing diagnosing maybe illness with the patient or something. Okay, those are the tasks. Okay, here is what, okay, this is in the second edition Handbook of Test Development. This one, I don't have the PDF. I bought the Kindle version though. Expensive, really expensive, but it's really useful too for me because I'm very interested in this field. So yeah, again, whoever interested, yeah, feel free to get this. And they start talking about certification and licensure. And now here, they said task types organized by level of fidelity for the role of the physician, doctors. Okay, so here it says, they can categorize it. Things can be high fidelity, but low standardization. Means the fidelity is means they put things in the context so good. I mean, the context is so deep or so rich that it's hard to standardize to different contexts. Okay, this one, I took this picture. I think here it says interaction with patient in unstandardized genuine format. Here is where, remember the PKPD, where the, what do you call, the darurat, something like that, right? That's really strict, that army came and put all the fences and stuff. So yeah, doctors are working in that situation basically, and it's hard to generalize that kind of situation, in the exam, So they're really doing that, especially those medical train. I mean the medical trainer residents, right? Yeah, they are doing it in a very genuine context, but maybe later when they have to go to a war zone, real war zone. This is war too with COVID-19, but a real war zone that, nobody's protecting them, no rock bullets are flying, maybe they cannot perform similarly. So we cannot standardize them. That's what it meant by high fidelity and low standardization. Okay, and okay, here the moderate fidelity or moderate standardization is basically they use dummies. Okay, here there's the interactions with high quality simulations of patients or medical scenarios. Okay, so of course this one we cannot do it because this, especially if in the US, I think they still hold this kind of students from doing it, but they have computer. They can do a simulation on the computer. Of course, the fidelity is less, but more standardization and more convenience given the COVID-19 and whatsoever. Okay, so, and low fidelity when they really answer basic, what do you call it, concept stuff. Okay, using essays. So that's a low fidelity, but easy to standardize. Okay, easy to score, easier to score compared to this kind of subjective. How can you, this should be a very, really rigorous rubric to decide. Okay. Okay, this one I took it from the Dean of School of Education, Associate Professor Dr. Fauzi Abdurrahim's slides. She talked about alternative assessment early on when when we started the MCO. So yeah, this is on her YouTube. This is on Prof. Abdul Karim. I think the USM's professor. YouTube. He did YouTube live, and yeah, you can click the link and go to her, the recording. And yeah, this is the same thing that we talk about just now. Task should be authentic, open-ended. Okay, I mentioned earlier, performance-based. Okay, do simulations, projects, portfolios, and everything. And then yeah, that's a deeper level of task-based or performance-based assessment. Okay. Okay, and this is from Associate Professor Dr. Aisha Abu Bakar from UMP, University Malaysia, Pahang. She did a couple of things, a couple of talks, and this is one of them. And her slides really detailed and based on SLT and stuff. It's really good. I think it's online. But these are the types. Okay, we know this. How to debate and stuff. Okay. Oh, it's still 1 hour. Yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah, I still have plenty of time. Okay. So here, what based on this task-based assessment, or they have these scholars, Bennett, Scales, and Gifford, Bachman, and Palmer, so-called open-ended item / constructed response item, subjective items, performance-based assessment or task-based assessment cover a lot of territory. Means there's no black and white. It's not cut and dry. Okay, so oftentimes it overlaps, but yeah, that's that's what it is, and it's just task or performance. Okay. Okay, we are going to the strategies for, I don't know, to see the fun part, or maybe more the one that I think the the key point of this training or workshop anyway. Sharing session. I said sharing session. Okay, item writing strategies for multiple choice items that may facilitate test security. Okay, this one is in the handbook, the first edition by Impara and Foster, and basically they based on Halidina Downing on Rodriguez strategy, they give 8, but Impara and Foster said, nah, this is not. We don't agree with 5, the 5 what do you call it, strategies. So the 3, yeah, and I couldn't agree more. Okay, first they said that first we have to look at the content concerns. The strategy is first use novel material to test higher level concepts, basically very genuine stuff, or if novel material, newspaper clippings, journals, or if it's a reading part, or like I said, if it's something like student can go to COVID-19 place and really experience dealing with patients, yeah, that's novel material as well. Okay, paraphrase textbook, language to avoid testing for simple recall, because yeah, try always, we don't want plagiarism even in the test, because if some people really have that photographic memory, or really good at memorization, but it doesn't make sense. I wonder if you watch Three Idiots, that guy, the NRI, non-resident Indian, who live in Uganda, and then he keep memorizing and stuff, but doesn't make sense. Okay, so yeah, paraphrase textbook. Okay, and then oops, again, content concerns. Avoid overly specific and overly general content. That's why the high fidelity, low standardization, that is super specific, but that's performance based. But if you are asking something like really specific that everybody can just, okay, what do you think? It's the same thing, for the same people, and super specific, and no variations in answer. Don't blame students that you are getting the same answer, or people are cheating, or people can just go straight to Google, like Dr. Ratnaria was concerned just now, her concerns on testing, and then writing the choices. Okay, this one is the when we talk about multiple choice, we have distractor or option. Option means distractor plus the key answers, right? A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D, E, F. But here it says develop as many effective choices as you can. Some people think you can only ask for A, B, C, D. I reduce A, B, C if it's a quiz because it's a short time. But if sometimes in final exam I put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. The more distractors you have, but the distractor must be effective. Or we call it choices must be effective. It cannot be non-functioning. Okay, means people know, oh, this is definitely not the answer, just slash. So what's the point of adding more choices when they're not important? Okay, so it'll be a bit harder for test takers to memorize the items, therefore preventing piracy of the items. This is what happened with Bad Genius. Okay, so these are the strategies. Okay, use novel materials, paraphrase, avoid specific or too general that people can just have common sense. Okay, you don't have to relate to the course that they're learning. Okay, writing the choices, develop as many effective choices as you can. And I'm going to show you one of my examples. Oh, before that, what does it mean by novel material high level concept? This is the one that I told you earlier. Okay, I don't want to underestimate people that they don't know this. Oh, I'm so sorry, my mouse is super sensitive. But this is the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. And yeah, UTLC has an app. Now, if you download the apps and then you go and check certain keywords, they give you what C's are there for you to choose. That's a tool, but you have to decide whether they are really C2 or C4. Sometimes you say explain can be C2 or can be C4. So you decide whether it's C2 or C4 or C5 even. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it's explain. That's the tricky ones. So sometimes create, they say that, okay, it's C6 and P7, but sometimes it's just C6 and P6 only, not even origination. It's just to that adaptation only. Okay, so yeah, my educator, get it for those who haven't. Okay, this one is actually more on cognitive, definitely. Anderson and Kraftwerk. Okay, is all this C1 to C6, and this one they have the knowledge dimension. It's similar to the intermediate constraint. The more you have, I mean, the more you go along the horizontal to the right, and the more you go the down you go. I mean, you are doing more metacognitive part. Okay, when they predict, they are actually evaluate, but it's the very highest knowledge dimension. Okay, and they can evaluate facts even. Okay, some people think of facts should be only C1. That's a misconception. Okay, I'll let you to peruse this. Okay, this one. Just now, it says in terms of the item development, but now assembly strategies. And this one, of course, with technologies, of course. Okay, randomly order response choices. This one definitely using online testing platform. Okay, and one of the testing platforms, the free version that, the class marker, it can do that. Okay, use multiple versions of forms. Okay, means, you have form A, form B, form C, and then different students get one, but you have to make sure this one, they are, their reliability, we call it alternate, they are parallel tests, so you have to make sure they have the score reliability is good, because they're not asking the different questions. Okay, because that's how it is. Okay, computer based, okay, loft, linear on the fly, means they have question bank and they take it from question bank. Class marker can do that. Okay, linear on the fly test, or you can just make it like, just fixed test. Linear on the fly means they change, different students get different questions, and from the question bank, not from the one you fix. So it's more pool to select, Okay, but you have to be very certain that you are asking the same thing. So that's a bit tricky. Okay, so mode of delivery is tricky too. Adaptive models, yeah. This one, is CAT. If you answer the first one right, they give you more difficult items. If you answer the first one wrong, they give the second one, less difficult. Okay, so it's adaptive. Okay, because they want to probe this. They don't want people to copy, memorize, they don't want people to sell the test, because yeah, is an industry too. Testing is an industry. Test piracy also is an industry. Okay, so, and the last one, use item variants clones on alternate forms. Okay, so similar, but maybe similar context or similar names or something. Yeah. Okay, that's the test assembly, how you gather the test, the one that you are trying to give to students. And you can shuffle the answers with online testing, and class marker doesn't need that much bandwidth. If you don't have any audio or videos in your exams, so just text and some links, you'll be good to go. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is the class marker. The one that, the next example, this one on the 20th, right? I give one class marker. Those who, I think Dr. Jari attended, Dr. Nikki and Amrita attended, Dr. Hamid attended. Okay, so yeah, this one also is on UTLC help desk. Getaway, getaway. Okay, gateway, getaway. Okay, so this is one from my class marker. The question that I asked students, and actually I asked all of the participants to answer this. It's from Intro to Statistics. Azwani, are you still here? I'm not sure whether you have left or not, but this is I'm using class marker, and this one you can use free version to ask this question. But the only thing you cannot do is give the feedback. So this is class marker, and yeah, this is what I meant by right of options, and this is actually multiple correct responses. But I know I don't just say select all best answers. It's going to be super difficult. Maybe nobody get it right. So what's the point of answering that? So at least I give them two best answers. Okay. So here, and you see the destructor is 55 because why? There's a reasoning coming after that. 55 because why? Okay. And then the question is just about standard deviation. And this is learning domain C4, okay, because they have to really evaluate, okay. And here, the one that I'm mentioned, the pointer, let's use the pointer. Okay, here the one that I said, okay, this is the one that that's suggested, right? For the test assembly, it said randomized answers, yes. A for test taker 1 should be different from A for test taker 2, and vice versa, and so on, okay. Okay, here the grade style, I also this one I penalize for wrong answers. This is just for guessing, but in real life I just change it because I want to share it with this group. But actually in real life I don't do that. I just they won't be penalized for answering wrong, because it's kind of very difficult. This one I did not. Okay, I said it's difficult and it's very discriminating. Discriminating here, not like in a bad way. Discriminating here means you can really discriminate who really knows standard deviation and who doesn't. Okay, so that's what I meant by discriminating. If you are doing item analysis, we talk about item difficulty and item discriminating a lot. Okay, so yeah, then I have the feedback. The same thing. It's just the first sentence is wrong. The first one is like, the first sentence is different. Way to go if they answer correctly, and yeah, better luck next time. So this one, if the scale is Gifford earlier, it's actually under constraint level, selection and number 2 only. Remember we have 1 until 7, 1 until 6. And then we have A until D. So this one is multiple answer. So this is the complexity is more. Okay, it's towards the D already. Okay, so yeah, it's 2C. And if you click it, you can go back to scale. But I don't think I'm going to click it. Yeah, I'm just reminding you of this. Okay, this is again a class marker. This is this was what do you call it? Administered to my students to test for their real quiz. They have a quiz on the 14th using class marker too, but I'm using this. I'm using class marker, so I let them to test first. So just to avoid all the glitches, so test is you have to test. That's why they call it pilot, or you do the test assembly and test administration to test. Okay, and we have pilot, we have test administration, the real one. So this is the pilot basically. So yeah, to let them try is this. This is the topic. Still assessment in education. The topic is basic item formats. Like I said, we have a essay, interview, fill in the blank, true, false. Quite different from whatever Scalis is mentioning, and free text and everything. So yeah, matching portfolio. Yeah. So these are some kind of basic stuff. And what types? Basically, what are they actually? So these are the item, and then these are the formats. Okay, and here again, I penalize them just to show that I I put with the testing online, you can do this easy, and you can shuffle clues and matches, so they cannot cheat. Or they can Google, but it's speed. It has time limit with class market. It has time limit. So yeah, I saw that I got the item quality. It's the total marks they should get nine points, because one for one match, one pair, one mark for one pair. So it's very difficult. It's 2.57, because moderate it should be 4.5, right? 9 divided by 2, so that's medium. But this is a moderate difficulty, but this is very difficult. 2.57 only. Okay, or less than 20% get that. Less than 30% get the item right. Okay, and yeah, less tendency to cheat. Okay, who said that? But yeah, it's of course it's just C2. The learning domain is C2. Okay. Any questions so far? I've been talking and talking, but or do you want to try to construct one item and share with the rest of the group? Anyone? If not, I'm gonna wait 5 seconds. If nobody says something on the chat or on the mic, I consider that you don't want to share and you're good with me only talking. Okay, 5 seconds up. Okay, now is the performance based. Just now is item, what do you call it, the multiple choice item, the very constrained one, that students cannot construct anything. And then this one is like performance based and computerized items. They can, if you are using computerized items, there are strategies that you can use, and if you are using performance based also, there are some strategies too that may facilitate test security. Okay, the strategy is first, do short answer, fill in the blank. That's normal, no? Because this one they have to construct. Of course, you can let them do it. It's very common. Application of skills, okay, means they have to apply what they've learned instead of regurgitate the meaning or regurgitate the facts. Okay, just ulang balik saja. Okay, demonstration items. This is when the construction, the presentation, okay, the portfolio, okay, those are very authentic, very very high order. Okay, so computer based, you can do drag and drop variants. They can drag stuff just like matching actually, but it's more call it innovation they call it. But yeah, some people are not so wow about drag and drop in computer test items, but some, yeah, it really works for some. Okay, it really shows whether the students really know or not. Simple completion, okay, means they have to complete in the text, just simple completion. And of course complex problem solving. I'll show you some of the examples. Okay, and of course, if you have complexity with internet technology and stuff, you don't let students use. Sometimes they don't even know whether it should be drop down menu, or they have to drag or something. So that could be that's gonna contribute to something that you don't want, and it's a no in a test. It's gonna contribute to construct irrelevant variance. Okay, and yeah, if you of course scoring. Okay, why people don't want to use performance based items with large groups? The scoring is really rigorous and tiring, and cost in terms of time time consumption. Okay, yeah, writing requirement, the handwriting, personality. That's why we don't know their names, right? Students' personality, students, the way they give examples also will affect us, you know, in terms of our scoring. It happens all the time. Okay. Sometimes we just pick, oh, what's who's writing this? Just gonna pick the name. Oh, no wonder, because we already have that kind of preconceived notion about that person, you know. So yeah. Cheating, yeah. They cannot copy some point, you know, if they really want to copy, they copy regardless. And can you really check if it's a really large class, you know? But like I said, you know, it's better than nothing. Piracy, you know, you know, nobody's gonna, you know, they change context most of the time, but they give, you know, sample tests or test prep, something. Memorization and copying, of course, because it's really, for the computer based, you can do anything with technology if you have good infrastructure. Okay, this is from Scales and Gifford. Okay, this is examples of substitution correction, limited figural drawing. So basically, is almost close to constructed response already. Okay. It's not. Did it make? I don't know. Maybe WebEx is acting up. It's making it slow, but it's supposed to be linked. But we can go back to Scales and Gifford. Can show you. Okay, I have plenty of time. Screen. Okay, there you go. What slide with 30? So this is substitution and correction. Oh yeah, close. We have 15. Okay, so substitution correction is 4C, right? Yeah, here. Limited figural drawing. Here is actually students can play with the button and play with the shadow. It's quite small, but this is what it is, you know. They use the radio the button or like the tune here, and they tune so that the shadow really reflect what it's supposed to look like, you know, given the light's position. So they do it here with the technology, and they've been graded automatically. Okay, so oops, going to slide 30. Okay, so here students have to complete the graph, click and drag each bar to the appropriate height. Means here, when they click it, it's going to go up and down. They can adjust based on whatever they see. Midwest, the total expenditure. Okay, this is math, but I'm not sure math, elementary or high school or something, I forgot. Okay, but it also makes sense if we tweak a little bit and ask in our class, but of course with the technology. Okay, this one I think expensive testing proctoring, yeah, they offer this kind of flexibility because they can even stimulate surgeon doing operation. So yeah, of course they can do this. Okay, and the learning domain is high. C6 means students have to create. P6 is you know, the my educator say is P7. P7 is origination. At some point I don't see this is an origination because still they are adapting to this information, and they are just doing it, you know, in a more controlled situation. Okay, so yeah, I use my judgment. It should be P6 only, adaptation. Okay, not up to origination. Okay, they don't produce anything. Okay, they just produce the graph and stuff. Okay, so this is limited figure drawing. Again, this is scatter plot. They do scatter plot a lot. Okay, so yeah, you can drag the points on the scatter plot to create a data set with a correlation coefficient of r equals to negative 0.87. So they really know how to know, okay, what is 0.87? That's the magnitude. Okay, what's the direction? Okay, that's negative. How it's going to look like? So yeah, they are doing bug fault correction. This is the most complex under the substitution correction. And this is statistics, and the learning domain is similar to the earlier one. Although they are the same, although this one is more complex, okay, but still it's still what do you call it, doing adaptation, okay, because they are is given and everything. Okay, that's my judgment. Okay. This one you can use anywhere. This one is popular, mind map. Okay, and you don't have to use kertas manjung anymore. the white paper, the big paper. Okay, you can use this mind map. So you don't even have to have testing platform. It's a lot of mind map, free version, paid version, whatever you want. Okay, so Coggle, mind map. This one I just managed to Google, but I remember a couple of like very easy to use too. You know. So yeah, it's elementary science. People make connection. I think this is very, very good. This is C6, P7. This is origination because they create the concept map or mind map from scratch. Yeah, this is the origination. I think this is when they really have to do psychomotor and originate. They come up with the mind map. Okay. Yeah, this is careless again. And okay, from writers. This is I think the least fun because it's more like wordy, but I think it's important to share. This is by Welt, 2006, general guidelines for prompt. Prompt here more like essay or it's longer version. So we are moving to task or performance items now. Okay, the issues, accessibilities. Okay, here again, all examinees should be able to access regardless of gender, culture, so no discrimination. Okay, differences in prompt performance should be directly tied to the differences in the skills. Okay, whatever we want, again, what we want to ask. Okay, and not to other factors like group expectations or background knowledge. Okay, so we thought, okay, oh, she comes from a high SES, so we think it's no, she managed to access it, and what, yeah, she gets she get it, she mastered the task. Okay, fairness, again, same, when you can access and there's no mention of any group members, nothing discriminating, nothing derogatory. Okay, yeah. Remember the case about I think titas, right? That's very controversial to say, but yeah, that part is something, it's really related to fairness. Okay, and audience, yeah, again fairly reflect the audience. This is all for the test. And I think something about difficulty. Yeah, difficulty is it should be sufficiently complex to support the examiner's development. Okay, of origin writing means it just like, okay, list, those are the basic stuff. And that's not a good point. Okay, responding to a prompt should not be confounded by difficulty of the language or concepts used in the prompt, because if you are not asking communication, you cannot assess language that much. Okay, there's a debate too, because if it's authentic, of course you have to assess language at some point because you have to make sense, right? Anybody has any take on whether we should assess language or not? When we are not assessing communication skills or learning outcome cluster communication, should we have rubric on language?
I mean, Dr. Nurliyana, is Dr. Fiza here?
Oh yeah, hi Dr. Fiza.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking along the same line. I mean, I don't know how others has been assessing, but I was thinking in our class, because we are teaching communication,
Uh-huh.
so normally we do take that into consideration.
Okay, yeah, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, because somehow in communication, if you put, I mean, if you have left one O and left one A, it'll be a different meaning. So
Right.
it's important for us to have that kind of rubric in our assessment. I mean, I don't
Right.
know about others, and maybe they also have that in their assessment. But I was
I've,
I was I was thinking. I mean, how about if we talk about exam? Sorry. I mean, if you have final exam,
huh?
so I mean, normally we have schema, right?
Yeah, right.
Schema to mark the paper. So sometimes the students have difficulty in elaborating the point, and they make some grammatical mistake. So,
Okay.
I mean, is it advisable for us, for example, to take that into consideration, or we have to give the mark based on the, on the schema?
Okay. That's really great question. Actually, great issue to raise, Dr. Fiza. Okay. Actually, okay. First, you are teaching communication, and I don't know. I I I just guess, that you are measuring LOC, the communication LOC. Am I
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, if there's a communication there, and if that assessment really capture map to that LOC and CLO, something to do with communicating that concepts well, then I think there should be a rubric within the thing. And but the rubric, but you can decide on how much weight you want to put on the grammar, or
Mm.
even the what do you call it uh what do you call kejelasan, what do you call
Mhm.
the
Charity.
the quality,
Yeah.
the coherence, the structure,
Mhm.
and everything. So whether yeah. So those are the mechanics basically, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, maybe 5 points or something like that. If it's not if it's not literature, or maybe it's not English, or something that really they have to really communicate without grammar error, then maybe three. So that is you decide with the as a group usually. But if you are by yourself, that's your judgment, seriously. And I remember one engineering lecturers, one engineering lecturer, the associate professor, Dr. Aisha, right? The from UMP. She's teaching geology and something like that, but engineering course. And she's asking students to write an essay to differentiate and everything. And she said this is authentic, and they have to write a notice to an engineer to mention something about the sites and everything. But then she said that she's not gonna um, score on language. But as long as it makes sense overall, but the points are there, but there's no like language per se, because she doesn't have LOC on language.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
Right. So yeah, if really you have something like, if it's reflective writing, I think yeah, language should be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
and plus, because we are doing authenticity, authenticity, at some point you have to make sure meaning, there's meaning making there. It makes sense, to the audience, so yeah, if you are writing to boss, okay, you're not going to make you know uh,
Mm.
petty mistakes or something. So yeah, yeah. I remember my qualification exam, PhD, I have to write a memo basically explaining about item quality. So in a way, writing a memo, short, brief, layman's term about the technical concepts. So yeah, I got. There's a mark on language clarity.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, okay, because that's real. That's real. You have to make. You're not gonna, be like a daisical or just say, oh, okay, I'm not, I'm not being assessed with communication. So yeah, to some extent, maybe you can just selit or just put it together with a little bit of other LOCs. Okay, it's all again judgment from the lecturers, and of course, if it's more than one lecturers are teaching, then based on consensus.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you. Great question. Thank you. Okay. So background knowledge. Yeah, that's we are moving to background knowledge, right? Okay, yeah. Here, still difficulty. Responding to a prompt should not be confounded by the difficulty of the language or concepts used. This is always problematic when we have math problems, with detail. And even in assessment, my assessment assignments, they couldn't understand certain words, and that's really biased towards them. So I have to, to translate the questions. So I like to have objective test, so it's gonna be very thick with paper based. Every time it's very heavy my paper, and I have 38, 40 students. But for the sake of measurement, okay. So yeah, language is really hard. So you have to translate. And US, they are really, we call it, very particular about language, because we have a lot of immigrants and we call it English language learners, means the father and mother are not native speaker of English. The second generation, yeah, but they are considered ELL, English language learners. So those are the things. Then the language, when it's confounded, it's is biased if you are not really truly assessing it. Like my professor, he really doesn't like people to ask to put the word utilize. His teaching survey asking you putting utilize to just say use in survey. So trying to learn students out asking respondents, and then it's like, how do you utilize? Just say use. So that's how, you know, petty things, utilize and use, you know, and simple, more general, universal examples. Background knowledge, again, free from waiting to examining with certain background or experiences. Most of the time, SES, the way they, because the way the examples that they use also, we tend to, you know, to definitely go have it to certain opinions or to certain examples, you know, rather than certain, you know, because I just remembering my experience hosting an online interview, you know, so candidates are from different backgrounds give different comments, but you know, it doesn't mean that we should really penalize them for that comment because they couldn't experience or they didn't have the opportunity to experience certain experience, and you know, others are just more lucky. Okay, so those are the things about issues about prom writers, and that one is actually looks very wordy, very, you know, I know this, but we always tend to forget. And when we mark, you know, the personality of people, that's why we never know their names, right? Okay, this is that sample. I took it from, this is, I don't know, maybe Dr. Fiza is here. Do we have strategic communication? I was thinking of Dr. Jamila, actually, my friend, actually, from SMMTC, you know, and also one of the courses at SEML about, you know, for principles and stuff. So I found it in a book, Situational Judgment Test. Okay, so this is a kind of a task, and it's contextual. It's you know, it's real. Everybody have problems with colleagues sometimes. Okay, so you know, indicate what would you be, what would be your primary concern. So this one, yeah, we don't have to supervise them. Most of the time, they will what you call throw what they feel and everything. You know, even though this is just a solution, but for pengetua, for principles, they really write a lengthy one. Okay, so this is one way, one good question for unsupervised test. And this is again, this is a alternative question still based on this stimulus. Okay, the don't get along because of different opinions. So here it's actually asking. It gives you the question gives like certain suggestions, some suggestions for Mr. Bukhari to take, and so they have to decide, you know, how strongly agree with each of this and why, by relating to principles of leadership. If it is for principle of strategic communication, if it's ever if there's such course. Okay, this is I just use by educational leadership. I know we have at SEML. So I think this kind of situation and judgment test is it's live, it's real, it's some people want to say organic, UPM, people call it organic. Okay, but definitely not going to go swim in the swarm and try to save seaweeds and stuff. That's what I heard. Prof. Mutahara. That's really awesome, I think. Yeah, but yeah, back to this situation and judgment test. They give judgment. I think people from the industry, you know, love this. Just you know. Okay. This one for lawyers, and this is from real test. I think certification test, and this is sample. I got it for free, you know, lucky me. And I got like the transcript too. So basically, they're trying to make it really real. The courtroom thing, courtroom drama, basically. Monroe versus Franklin Flex amusement park, and lawyers have to go with Franklin Flex and against Monroe. So they have to actually, examinee's task is to draft the argument section of a persuasive brief, okay, in support of Park's motion. Okay, so really need to basically tell why Miss Monrose is actually at fault for her own accidents or at the amusement park. And I really would like to share with you the transcripts from this is the real, and they give the free samples. The real National Conference of Bar Examiners. I wish Dr. Ani Munirais here. Okay, here is the she could, or anybody from SOL. I'm sorry, I just know her and a couple of Ain, I think, from SOL. I think where is the there you go. See, they even give this excerpt and everything. Okay, summary. I don't really understand some of the part, but this is really cool. This is real. And the only thing is like students have to type, of course, because in some cases when students have to do the paper pencil base, that's not the fidelity is not there, because how there's no way lawyers write, handwriting to the client or to defend the client. Okay, so that's the summary. Here they have the library. Okay, yeah. The file contains instructional memorandum, guidelines for drafting persuasive brief, and excerpt from deposition transcripts. So I don't know whether we can call this problem-based learning, but that's why I'm just being safe here. This is performance or task-based, and it's very authentic. This is for architecture, and this is computer-based. Okay, the early one you can just do and let them submit on OEM online learning. Okay, this one landscape architecture. Okay, asking architecture to find okay, a client has asked the architect to develop a site that is environmentally responsive and cost effective. So click on the area on the site plan below where the architect should recommend the development be located. Okay, before I move to the next slide to see the answer, can anybody tell me just maybe just guess or something, or use your judgment, what level is this based on what we discussed about cognitive recall? Is all C. There's no affective here, there's no P here, or there's no psychomotor learning taxonomy here. So what level of cognitive this question is asking? Any takers? Because they have to actually to construct a picnic pavilion, restroom facility. So now they ask the architect to actually to recommend where the facility should be located based on this map.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe based on C1 to C6, right?
Yes, C6, C1 to C6 only. And maybe here they don't have C1 and C2. This one is not C1 and C2. So
Yeah, I was thinking it's supposed to be C6.
C6. Okay.
It's supposed to be creating something because it's supposed to be creating, but it's actually also can be C4.
Click, only click. They just have to click. Where?
To click. So maybe applying.
Yeah,
Applying, right? Maybe just clicking, maybe just applying because they have the knowledge.
Yeah, where and how, and look at the map and stuff. Okay, so let me check. I think that's it. I'm trying to recall to actually I couldn't recall. Okay. This is the rationale, and it says yes. A and E, applying, and A is analysis in this case, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but they have to give rationale too, and yeah, this is where the environmental responsive, basically preserve the trees, basically, I guess. And this is architect, and they have, yeah, okay, here, understand, apply, and yeah, AE. So it's AE, analyze and apply, evaluate, actually. But Dr. Visa, yeah, I was, I'm sorry, I said that we don't have understand, but yeah, it's actually, yeah, tricky, right? How they decide, click on that thing, and you analyze.
Because the principle is actually analyzing, right? The principle is analyzing, but the instruction is actually to apply.
Okay. So,
Something
and
like that.
yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, if there's apply and analyze, C3
Mm.
and C4, we go with the C4, right?
Yes,
That's how
yes,
we do
yes,
in
yes.
oral BE. Okay, yeah. So, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Fiza, again for contributing to the discussion. Okay, this is my own research methodology. Just a few more. Oh, okay. What did I show you? This is okay. This is before MCO. This is actually in the classroom actually, and then in the quiz I think I make it that I said more safer rather than list three limitations where they can really go and Google and or ask around. So I give them a context or situation, you know, about three customers and they are doing sampling. So I asked them to discuss three issues regarding, even I don't even mention what is sampling methodology. So for me, I think this is yeah, C4 again. You have to analyze, discuss three issues. Okay. This is again mine. Assessment in education. This is test bias. I really like this question, but now I cannot share it. I cannot ask anymore. Maybe in 5 years because it's already exposed. Yeah. This is test bias. They give the CLO because this is a CLO actually. Standard pembelajaran. This is CLO, and then this is the tajuk. So a teacher constructed this item, and then what's wrong with this? So basically, I told them that. So there's a excerpt a little bit. I forgot to read because they said that these are problematic items. Figure one and problematic item. What are the problems? I ask. So they really do, and I have asked them to reconstruct. Develop one item measuring the same construct. So they have this, but they have to develop, and some really come up with really good, good item, and I couldn't snap it. I couldn't find it. It's too many in the storage, so couldn't get them. But I remember the answer. And here, if we look at this, if you have to revise, they are actually creating, and actually they have to apply the principles. The knowledge dimension that they're using are revising and principles. So that's not bad. It's really high, and there's no way they can cheat. you know, yeah. So uh, and always it's all about rubric. You have to test first. You want your students to answer, you have to figure out how you want, how what's the answer actually. Some people just ask, but when it comes to the rubric, it's going to be very challenging. So, and again, we have to submit ISO document QP004 well, no, rubric. So you really have to think. Auditor will ask, how did you come up with the question without having a proper rubric? Yeah. And this is what I my suggested, which is some really did better than mine, but this is what I said. And how do I decide? They develop. It should first the criteria should be free from bias or problem. It meet the learning standard, meet the learner's level, which is the age, and yeah, mechanics and representation need and clean because in testing we have to make sure that, especially test paper based, cannot. It has to be very kind of like very neat and the stem and everything. No typos and stuff. Yeah. So in a way, language is there, mechanics is there. And then scoring description, I said if they redevelop, get 5 marks, and I accept any acceptable answers that adhere to the principles of item or test development. It's really related to our discussion anyway, so that's why I go through this in a little bit detail. So they get 5 marks. Okay, this is a conversation-based assessment earlier. I showed you earlier the first slide, the first page about conversation-based assessment. this is they use avatar, okay, and basically interview, but this is how they just try to use technology to enhance on technology, okay, and they really did. They have English tests in Japan, you know. I remember it's on YouTube, from Samsung. Samsung developed that, and then to test English for Japanese speakers. Okay, that's conversation. Yeah, and this is also conversation-based assessment. Oh, this is by ETS. ETS is one of the leading companies. If I said this is the the leading the biggest factory. If because I mentioned earlier, it was like a factory, right, or industry in the States. So ETS, yeah, is the biggest. Okay, so they come out with the concluding said interactions with the original scenario-based task and in-person interviews with the task takers showed that simple conversations with students could reveal a great deal of information about their underlying mental models and understanding behind particular decisions. So yeah, you cannot test, you don't want them to cheat. Interview them, but how practical is that? Again, it's up to you. We have many types of item formats, many means to assess. So if it's really good, go ahead, interview or search for avatar program testing. And again, this is the guidelines. And in this guideline, I did the coursework part. So that's my part actually. And I give this checklist and that I adopted here and there. I have the references in the guideline, but yeah, this is basically what I've come up with in the guidelines. So for the coursework, especially when you want to replace your final exam, these are the questions that you can ask. First, of course, what's the purpose? Can you assess it with different kind of coursework? Sometimes is it lengthy? Is it too lengthy? Or you can break it down. Is the coursework too long and should be split up into several relatively short coursework? Does the question posed contain a clearly defined task? Do they really know what they have to do? Or just like, okay, what is this question about? Okay. Because we tend to sometimes go off track, we describe a lot of context, but actually it doesn't contribute anything to the quality of the item. Okay, at the end, it's just waste of paper. Okay, is the instruction worded and structured in such a way that it will be clear to the learners what they are expected to do? Again, instruction wording and everything is very hard, especially assessment instruction. Sometimes you just translate, you thought that's the best actually, but then when you look at it, a lot of things that can be improved. Okay, so the wording. Is the task presented to the learners reasonable given the COVID-19 situation? Okay, because earlier I had in the coursework that they have to go to schools to go and conduct. They develop item and then they administer it to real kids. But now with COVID-19, I have to change everything. So no direct human interaction and no field work required. So from that 20% original assessment, I have to break it down to 2 or 3. Yeah. Okay, but that's what it takes. Is the coursework specifically a long project presented to the learners reasonable given time? Sometimes, okay, this is maybe next next semester. I think we're still required to do online if I get it right, if I get the circulation right. So we still have to do this online. So yeah, maybe we can start next year. Okay, but when those who started long project, during the 18th of March, I think that's kind of cool to the kids, to the students. Okay. Oh yeah, again, novel situation. That's what Impara and Foster said. Problem situated included in the coursework based on real world. Okay, if possible, why not? Do the learners know how many points the coursework is worth? Okay, points, you have to have marks, of course. Okay, can they access references? Do they have to turn it in? Okay. Do learners require plagiarism check? Assignment indicate the length of desired responses. Some people say don't like the 500 words because they said better 2 pages, single spacing, something like that. So it's up to you. expected format. You don't want PDF, you want PDF, you don't want PDF, okay? Complete sentences, how do you want them to name, you know? Sometimes students don't even put their name, okay? Sometimes you want them, you want them to name based on the assignment title, okay? Point values for each question again. Does the assignment state the time limit, deadline? Does the coursework include consequences for breach of guidelines? Repeat as method. No way. Okay, so I don't know. So they said that you have to be creative to really remind, you know, some people do animation just to remind the consequences. Some people just, you know, do the soft talk, you know, play with the psychology. So yeah, it works anyway. So all the best is the thing. And these are the guidelines that I told you, the international testing standards, the established one. This is the standards in North America, but now being used a lot uh, across the world. I think, yeah, I think Malaysia might start to recognize it too. So yeah. So this everything is in there because you know US is a lawsuit all law. If you know if you are unfair to test takers, they can sue testing companies. If there's you know is conducted in using internet and suddenly you know you are testing the whole state and of course there will be glitches and yeah the testing company got sued and went bankrupt. It happened in front of my eyes when I went for the internship. Okay, so yeah that's the issue with US lawsuits. It was crazy. Okay. Here, this is ITC, International Test Commission. They said that this is more European. Okay, yes, but they have translated, they have all these guidelines. I think some of them really relevant. I put in detail down there to our situation. And they translated too. They translated especially the guidelines on test use in Croatian, Brazilian Portuguese, Portuguese, Japanese, Hebrew. So yeah, you know how big they are, and that's how the influences. Um, these are the guidelines. They just updated on the ITC guidelines for the large-scale assessment of diverse population. Now people talk a lot about diversity, fairness, and stuff. Even the standards now they include that whole chapter on test fairness. Okay, so now you know it's a big issue if you discriminate or if you do injustice to your students. You know, but for those especially those who are easily you know to be sued. Okay, and they have guide to test takers. Okay, these are for test developers, test users, the guidelines. But the guide is this one, the first one is for test takers and is a good thing to look at. Okay, I provide the link and yeah, then they have here the statement on the use of tests for research purpose. Means we can use tests for research and they provide some funding and they have publications too. You can submit. It's not technical. You can submit your practice and it's a good journal. Very good. Okay, these are the three guidelines and one guide, the test takers guide here, 3 pages. And these are, I think, lengthy, but yeah, something that is related to us, especially in supervised test, unsupervised testing. And these are the books that, or some references that I think are important. And yeah, this one, they even have some kind of, you know, distinction, performance-based, problem-based, you know, they have the continuum more advanced because, you know, as you go deeper, and it's always more ways to categorize. But again, too specific is not good. Okay, Handbook of Test Development, this is the free one. Okay, $100. And this one also, this one, the second version, the one that architecturing part that one I got. Okay, more technical, this Handbook of Test Development now, more technical. Okay, this is good to get to read, to go through, you know, if you are really into testing and want to do the right thing. Okay, this is okay, MKF, everybody knows that. Web-based item banking tools. Okay, this is fun. This is Tao, but this is no way Chinese. This is French. I don't know the name, but there's something of French, but it's based, the testing company is based in Germany and it has free package. It's open source though. So when open source means security is not guaranteed. But this one, Zoomorphics. This one, if you really want to do 3D, all the fun stuff that requires a lot of internet and good laptops. Okay, so yeah, but it's good to have options. I know this is my class marker, the one that I've been promoting, which is not bad. If you paid also, it's like $25 a year. And if you have 4 instructors, you can even share account. So yeah, RM25 a year. So is it? I forgot already the conversion. Question mark. I heard last time our UMIT director, Professor Abdul Malik, he was trying to get question mark, but he said it's too expensive. I don't know. Eclavia is new from India. I don't know how much is the pricing, because people always think that India's currency is relatively cheaper, but based on whatever they are offering, they can charge expensive. Why not? They are on demand. Okay. Okay, last concluding remarks. Right on time, 11:54. Okay. The last concluding remarks here is from my first supervisor, PhD, Professor Dr. Richard Lack. He worked on assessment engineering. Who says that assessment doesn't have engineers? We engineer assessment nowadays, not even designing. So Rick Lack come up with that term, assessment engineering. And he cautioned, do not let item types drive the measurement. Behaviors or tasks provides information for a prescribed purpose, not the item types. You want what response, how the students should respond, and how long they should respond. These are the important parts, the behavior part. And then design instruments to capture the needed information rather than limiting the information to what a particular type of item can do. So I really want to use avatar, but it doesn't measure your CLO. So don't limit yourself to the item type. Conceptual and specific knowledge can be measured well by objective items, from isolated facts to applied knowledge and synthesis. So yeah, you can use multiple choice. Okay, some people might not like it, but I'm a big fan of objective items, multiple choice matching, and everything. You can play with it, as you understand the response action, how students should respond, and how you can do to make it more higher order. Okay, but maybe until maybe evaluate only, students cannot yet create using multiple choice. Skills and process related behaviors typically require skill application in simulated work domains. If you can go to the genuine part, like the physician, that's you're most welcome. But simulated is easy to standardize. Okay, that can be measured well by subjective and performance-based items. That's why I said we just call it objective, subjective. Okay, performance-based or select response, or open-ended, close-ended. So basically, the continuum is just there, like the Bennett's picture or scalars. I think somewhere along the line, alternative assessment fits in there, traditional assessment fit in there, and it's just it's the more the merrier, but a lot of labeling is going to be chaotic too. So they marry each other well in there. So it's up to you who drive the measurement and what you want to achieve. Happy testing. That's the references, and that's my contact for comments or feedback or collaboration. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Are there any questions? Oh, I did not see Dr. Amrita. Okay, on ratio of these types of questions. Good question, Dr. Amrita. How should we balance it? Okay, this one I have to go check, especially the standards, because the AERA, okay, because I know they have one chapter on test design development. I couldn't recall on top of my head because it's all laws. Sometimes when you need it, you go and check. But I know one thing, I will balance. I will not ask all objective questions or all multiple choice and stuff. So that's what I know. Balance is good because that's where you see the variation of skills that you want to measure. That's my take. I'll check definitely. I check. I get back to you. Thank you, Dr. Amrita. Thank you for everyone who stays till the end. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jauria. Thank you. Thank you for staying until the end.
Thank you, Dr. Nurliyana, for sharing.
Thank you, Madam Fadlina. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Thank you, Dr. Siti Nazwa. Thank you, Dr. Fiza. Thank you, Dr. Fatima Zaili. My pleasure.